Once upon a time, in a vast and prosperous kingdom, there was a dense, dark forest surrounding the royal castle. Though the forest was beautiful and rich with wildlife, no one dared to venture deep inside, as rumours had long spread that those who entered never returned. Whispers told of a strange, fearsome creature with great power hiding in the shadows. The king, a brave and rational man, refused to believe in such superstitions. To uncover the truth, he sent one of his best hunters into the forest to investigate. The man, well equipped with weapons, food, and a loyal hunting dog, vanished without a trace. The king sent 2 more, then 5, then 10. None returned. It was as though the forest had swallowed them whole. Finally, a young, courageous, and clever hunter volunteered to enter the woods. Unlike the others, he proceeded cautiously, following signs and tracking with great skill. After several days of travelling through the undergrowth, he and his dog reached a mossy clearing where the dog began barking furiously and ran toward a large pit in the ground. Peering into the hole, the hunter was stunned to see a strange figure trapped below. It was a man, but not an ordinary one. His entire body was covered in coarse, rust-coloured hair, and his eyes glowed like fire. He looked fierce and wild, as if born of the earth itself. This was Iron Hans, the wild man. The hunter did not flee. Instead, he cleverly fashioned a rope and, with the help of others, pulled the creature from the pit. Iron Hans was shackled and brought to the castle, where he was locked inside an enormous iron cage in the palace courtyard. The king ordered that the cage must never be opened without his permission. The only key was entrusted to the queen, who kept it hidden in her private chamber. Years passed. One day, the young prince, the king's only son, was playing in the courtyard and accidentally rolled his ball near the iron cage. As he approached, Iron Hans spoke in a low voice. "Little boy, let me out and I'll return your ball." The prince hesitated. "I can't. My father has forbidden anyone from releasing you." But Iron Hans whispered, "The key is in your mother's room. You only have to sneak in and take it." At first, the prince resisted, but curiosity and pity stirred in his heart. Eventually, he crept into his mother's chamber and stole the key. He unlocked the cage. The moment the door creaked open, Iron Hans stepped out, picked the boy up gently, and ran with him deep into the forest before anyone could stop him. In the heart of the forest, Iron Hans built a small hut and said, "You can no longer return home, but if you do as I say, I will take care of you." The prince, now a prisoner of fate, agreed. He began living under Iron Hans's watchful eyes, learning to survive in nature, to be silent, patient, and brave. One day, Iron Hans led the prince to a clear, shimmering spring deep in the woods. "Your task is to guard this spring every day," he instructed. "The water must remain pure. If it is ever disturbed or muddied, misfortune will come." On the first day, the prince did well. On the second, however, his finger accidentally touched the water, clouding it slightly, and his finger turned to solid gold. On the third day, he dipped his entire hand, and it too turned to gold. Iron Hans returned, saw what had happened, and sighed. "You are not yet ready to live in the forest. You must go out into the world and learn to survive on your own. But I will help you one last time." Before sending him away, Iron Hans gave the prince a small wooden bear. "When you are in need, place it on the ground and call me 3 times. I will come." With that, the wild man disappeared into the forest. The young prince wandered far until he reached a distant kingdom, where he begged to work at the castle. Hiding his golden hand beneath a cloth, he was taken in as a gardener's apprentice. He tended the flowers and trees quietly, never revealing his identity. The princess of the castle, beautiful and curious, began to notice the mysterious young gardener. One day, as he watered the roses, his cloth slipped. Sunlight struck his golden hand, making it gleam brilliantly. The princess was astonished and began watching him more closely, though he still said nothing. Not long after, war broke out. The kingdom was under threat, and the king called upon all able men to defend the land. The prince offered to fight, but was mocked and refused. That night he slipped away, placed the wooden bear on the ground and called, "Iron Hans! Iron Hans! Iron Hans!" A great black horse appeared, clad in shining armour. With it came a sword and golden armour. The prince mounted the horse and rode into battle, fighting with unmatched courage. He drove the enemy back and saved the kingdom, then returned quietly to his job in the garden, unnoticed. The king, desperate to discover the mysterious saviour, held a grand banquet. The princess, still intrigued by the gardener, took a golden apple, a royal symbol of marriage, and threw it into the crowd. Miraculously, it landed in the prince's hands. She tried a second and a third time. Each time the apple found him. At last, the gardener was brought forward. He removed his cloth, revealing his golden hands. Then, with calm and honesty, he told his whole story, from freeing Iron Hans, to his time in the forest, to his secret role in the war. The court was astonished. The king was moved. The princess smiled. A grand wedding followed, and the humble gardener became the kingdom's heir. Years passed. Now king himself, the prince returned one day to the forest where his story began. There he met Iron Hans once more. But now the wild man was transformed. His rust-coloured hair had vanished. His eyes were warm. He wore a king's robe. "I was once a king too," Iron Hans explained. "But a curse turned me into that beast. Your kindness, honesty, and bravery broke the curse." The two kings embraced. Their kingdoms joined in lasting peace, and both ruled with wisdom for many years.